What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Hot Seat Entertainment now. Yes, that's right. We're rebranding the once Hot Seat podcast. We're now the Hot Seat Entertainment. We're doing much more than just podcasts, doing movie reviews, doing reaction videos, Twitch gaming, everything. We're taking over.
We're just branching out, doing more things.
Right. The first thing of the year that the Hot Seat Entertainment is doing is we're doing our movie review. Let's do it to none other than Spider-Man No Way Home.
Wait a minute. We ain't gotta announce it. Y'all know why.
Y'all seen the title. Y'all see the title.
Y'all see the title. Y'all see the thumbnail. Y'all clicked on it because y'all want to see what we think about this movie. All right.
This is gonna be our spoiler-filled review. We're gonna talk about what we like, what we dislike, our favorite scenes, all that. But we're gonna start the review off with non-spoilers. Just talk about what we liked in this movie.
All right, man. First things first, I want to wish everybody watching a happy new year. I hope y'all all had a beautiful Christmas with your families. Hope everybody's healthy. Hope everybody came over to see this next year because, life ain't guaranteed. So, well wishes to everybody. Now, with this movie that we waited almost 2 years for, we in the group chat, we talking about this movie all the time. Like all the things that we've been through since the last Spider-Man movie. We went through Tom Holland, Spider-Man getting pulled out the MCU, them having to negotiate a deal, and then us thinking, oh, what's going to be in the next movie? And then we're excited for the movie, and Jamie Foxx posting spoilers, and COVID pushing the movie back 5 months, and we worried that it might get pushed back again. Like, yes. Was the movie worth the wait? Absolutely. So what I'll say about the movie, without any spoilers, straight up, I really do believe it is arguably the most heartfelt comic book movie I've ever seen. And I mean heartfelt. I'm not even talking about which is the best or this and that, but just the jabs and what they did and then the loose ends that they tied in and the way they made things connect that we all had questions for. You know what I'm saying? We've been Spider-Man fans our entire lives. Like for me, the first superhero I was introduced to was Spider-Man. It wasn't Batman. It wasn't Superman. Yeah. It was Spider-Man. It really answered a lot of our questions. And then to see what Tom Holland was able to do on screen.
Great performance.
Like, it was the best performance I've ever seen from him. That's my non-spoiler review. Like, even if you don't like comic book movies, this is a great movie for you. It's heartfelt. It's action. It's funny. It's an amazing story. Great pacing. And you got some of the best actors in the world. You got Jamie Foxx, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina. You know what I'm saying? You have amazing actors. How you feel about it, bro?
The movie was amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When I was first, seeing everything that was going on in it, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, when I saw he got pulled into the MCU, when I saw that happen, I was kind of scared for the movie. Like, I hope it doesn't do too much. I hope it doesn't pull a Spider-Man 3, a Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I hope it don't pull something like that. But this movie ended up, juggling all that honestly perfect to me. I loved the performance by Willem Dafoe. Oh my gosh, like his performance in this movie. Oh my gosh, like his performance. He one of the best MCU villains of all time. Tom Holland, great performance. I think this was easily his best MCU performance ever. Like this is the best movie in a trilogy without a doubt as well. They really came through because I was kind of starting to be disappointed with the home trilogy of Spider-Man. All his movies not really having stakes, to him not really being a Spider-Man. We're used to seeing Spider-Man throw hands. We never seen really Tom Holland fight anyone. It's always the webbing or he was just Iron Boy. Exactly. He was like Iron Boy. He just had a bunch of gadgets and stuff, and it was like when are we gonna really get that Peter Parker experience? I really feel like this movie just threw it at him, didn't give him a break or anything, and his decisions really had consequences. But the movie looked beautiful. I do wish that Marvel, would start using the money that they have to actually, build sets instead of just using green screen all the time. Man.
If you want non-spoilers, get off this video right now.
If you want non-spoilers, go watch a trailer. Go watch a trailer. Get off the video.
Go see the movie and come back because we about to get into it.
Honestly, we know where to start. Y'all know who was in the movie. They brought my boy Toby. They brought my boy what's my boy? I don't even know why I forget Andrew Garfield. Hey, bro, I don't know
Oh,
why. I don't know
no.
why I forget Andrew. It's probably because his
He was
movie. It's
lame.
probably because his
He was like,
movies are so
I'm
forgettable.
lame. I'm
But
lame
we'll
because
talk.
I'm lame compared to you guys. I'm
It's just
lame
his
compared to you
movies are
guys.
so
That's
forgettable. You know, that's what it
crazy.
was. But
Wow.
they brought Toby and they brought
Wow. You're
Andrew
one
into
of
the
them.
movie. If I gotta say it, Andrew kind of stole the show every time he was on screen.
I'm just gonna say it. In this movie, Andrew Garfield washed Tobey Maguire.
Easy.
Washed
They
him.
had Toby feeling like an old man, like he really was retired. You know
I was like,
the
I felt like,
pastor.
yo, we not acted since 2007.
It really feels like
I'm
it.
sorry.
It really did feel
I
like it.
love Tobey Maguire, but I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and I was happy to see him back. I loved all the Spider-Man moments, but I was kind of like, bro, is he like, has he acted in a while?
It,
But you know, hey,
it
no shade. So I love Tobey Maguire, man.
now if I really have to talk about it, I really do like the way they utilized Toby though. It just felt like he was the it felt like he was the OG Spider-Man. It really feels like,
Mm-hmm.
he had the
He was
wisdom.
funny.
Yeah. It just
He
felt
was
like
definitely
yeah,
funny.
exactly. I just, he showed up without his suit and I was really scared that he wasn't going to have it at all because I didn't see it under his clothes.
No
I'm
chance.
like,
No
no
chance.
way you showed up without a suit. But I do like the
Yeah,
way they used him. It just felt like he had so much wisdom. He's been through it all. He could really teach,
yeah. They only did that no suit thing because Toby was famous for in Spider-Man 1 when he was running. In that one scene, he ripped his shirt open and it was like under.
yeah, yeah.
That's
He
why he
was. He
did it
was.
because
Okay.
he's famous for having
Hmm.
it under. Like
Okay. That
every
makes
movie, it
sense.
showed his suit
That
under.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
most definitely.
That definitely makes sense. But I seen some memes online talking about they didn't like their entrance and stuff. I personally like the entrances, how it's grounded. I just don't like
Mhm.
where it was, but I guess you needed a place and I have my reasons why I don't like where it was. It just makes it feel like Marvel doesn't have a budget. It's like you have to put, how they had the villains in the basement just sitting there, or put them in Happy's apartment or, had it where both Spider-Man show up in Ned's house. It just feels like, Marvel didn't utilize their budget. They just had to keep putting stuff in little spaces. So that's my little nitpick with it. But I do like how they brought them, out to where they can have, a scene where, they talk and they meet up and everything. Because Toby and Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, don't know each other. So let them meet each other first and then talk to, Tom's Spider-Man. But I like the entrance, other than that.
There were a lot of moments where I said, they were shorted a budget. Like there were some CGI things, and I'm like, oh, they could have did better, or like certain things like that. But as far as like that scene, I thought that scene was gold. Like I'm just gonna be honest. What were they going for? You got to ask yourself, the studio, what were they going for? What did they know was going to happen when they walked through them portals?
They knew everybody was going to clap.
They knew the entire audience would go nuts. So they had to make the moment small like that because if you do it in a big moment, then you might miss the next moment. They had to ground it and have them just come in and then have like 5 seconds of nothing because it's like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like when you performing in front of a live audience, you say your line and then you might stop because they going. You watch the Fresh Prince, you've seen moments where they literally stop to let the audience calm down. That's what they were going for. You know what I'm saying? The only issue I have with that scene is it was kind of dragged out.
I agree.
The Andrew Garfield
Going to get
interaction
the
before
spider
Toby got
webs.
there, climbing to get the web, and then talking to the auntie. Then
Yeah.
then I love when Zendaya threw the bread at him, but they
Yeah,
kind of
it was
overplayed
funny.
it.
It was funny.
But yeah, so like that's the only knock I have on that. What would you say your biggest pros are in the movie? Your three pros.
My biggest pros, so like the things that
Yep.
I felt like worked in the movie the most.
Yeah. You can't live without.
Um. Okay, so
Yeah.
off the bat, my favorite scene in the movie is just the spider sense scene. Like when he's in there, trying to fix
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
fix
Yeah.
Doc Ock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that scene was so perfect, and I really do want to make an in-depth video on that. Like when that's on Blu-ray, because I just feel like that scene was so amazing. Like it's just the build up. Peter's
Yeah.
trying to work on
Yeah.
something, and then all of a sudden, he just stops, and everything
He
is
just
just
felt it.
yeah, everything. The sound's gone. You can't really hear nothing. It's all like blurry, like it's like you're underwater or something. And he's like trying to look around, and see what's wrong. He's asking like, May, are you okay? And he's just walking around trying to look at everything. And then you see Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. You see him walking. While he's Norman Osborn. You see him walking, and you're just starting to be like, what's wrong? And then you're thinking like, oh, that's what's going on. And out of nowhere, he looks at him, and he webs his hand, and then the Goblin's out. That scene was just crazy.
What I will say is, that was probably like, from visual, that was one of the most beautiful looking shots, because they shot it focused on him.
Yeah.
Everything else is out of focus, and like you said, you kind of felt the pulse.
Yeah, and it made you feel like you're having your spider sense. Starting to, your stomach's turning. It's like, what's going on?
Okay. So that was the best use of his spidey sense, because he never fully, even in Far From Home, he started to use it.
It kind of felt like they was forgetting about it, and it was
in Far From Home, it felt like it was kind of, all right, I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm gonna hold it for later.
I get what you're saying. It kind of felt like, like they had to use his spider sense because it's like he has it. Let's like just kind of use it. Yeah.
Like the fans was like, well, how are you Spider-Man with no Spidey sense?
Exactly. And
because you saw what happened in Homecoming. He didn't use it once. He was getting knocked all over the place.
They literally forgot about it. That's the thing. But I just felt like it was perfectly executed in this movie. So that was one. I guess two. We gotta talk about it. Aunt May's death scene. I feel like he needed that. I just feel like it was impactful.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Goblin. He actually the one villain that's made Peter have to suffer from his decisions. Things
he was so good in this movie that you could have gotten rid of all of the other villains and made it him.
That's something that I have to critique. I actually wish they did do that, personally. But Aunt May's death scene, I think you gotta keep that. And number 3, just every Willem Dafoe line, every one of them. Even the I'm something of a scientist myself.
that call back to 2002.
Yes, I love every line. The line that we was talking about in the group chat. My favorite line by him in this movie. But those are my 3. What about you?
The reason why I love that line that you brought up to piggyback on what you said is because that's truth to that in real life. You're struggling to have everything you want while the people are trying to make you choose. I feel like, in a way, I'm dealing with that myself. I'm really trying to mold into the man that I want to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then the world, whether if it's family, if it's friends, if it's jobs, if it's relationships or whatever, is trying to pick all these parts. You're like, no, you have to be like this. You have to be like this. And you're like, I just want to make everything right.
Exactly. You're trying to make everybody happy while making yourself happy.
And that's what Peter is going through. Peter is trying to make himself happy while not running away from his responsibility as Spider-Man. This is the first time they ever showed him, like Doctor Strange said, you're trying to live a double life. This is the first time it ever showed him trying to live a double life.
And I love
that. It actually impacts somebody that's bigger than him. Every Spider-Man lost people they love. Every Spider-Man lost everybody they love. Mm-hmm. He hadn't lost anybody except Tony Stark, which was a casualty of war because Tony was Iron Man.
Yeah, and I'm so happy we're finally moving on from that aspect of his life.
My pros. You named my first 2, so let's talk about what you didn't name. One of my biggest pros, man, was Andrew Garfield admitting that he became bitter.
I love that
after losing Gwen.
Okay, I like that.
That is one of because I'm gonna tell you the truth. When coming into this movie, let's be real. I knew Toby and Andrew were gonna be in this movie.
Yeah,
we knew it. We knew they were gonna be there. So I had 2 questions. One, did Peter and MJ get married? Well, Toby's Peter.
Yeah.
Did Toby and MJ get married? Peter? Well, yeah, that was funny too, right? But I found out that Toby asked them to keep his description and as private and vague as possible to make it seem like he's just living a complicated life, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning he's still staying true to that I'm hiding my personal from Spider-Man, right? When you saw the pain in Garfield's face, he's like, I don't want you to be bitter. I don't want you to be like me. And I was like, because you lost. Because if you look at his Spider-Man, he lost Uncle Ben. He lost his parents. They don't show anybody else's parents at his.
Yeah.
Even though there's a twist to that I found out
talk
about.
about that. We're gonna talk about that.
He lost Gwen. He lost Captain Stacy. Like he lost it all, and it's like
he has stakes.
I understand how you could be bitter after that. So I love how he took that and said, "No, Peter, don't be like that. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose somebody after Aunt May. That's not going to be the end of it. You're going to lose somebody else. So, but you got to stay true. So that's my number one pro in all seriousness. My number two my number one really is Willem Dafoe.
Okay, yeah.
Willem Dafoe put on the best performance that I've seen in any MCU movie this year.
Yeah, it was
that's
amazing.
What it is.
It was amazing.
And in all seriousness, I really think he made a run for the best villain of all time. DC, Marvel, regardless. I think he slaughtered his 2002 performance.
Yeah. And like we was talking, in our group chat, we was talking about
that pro.
How they
that pro for me, exactly.
How they finally distinguished Goblin from Norman.
The battle. Yeah. You watch Norman fight that battle. Like he fought it in 2002, but it was like
couldn't really tell.
It's like he fought it through the helmet of the Goblin.
Exactly.
He destroyed that helmet and thought he won. He thought he won. And Goblin said, knock, knock, let the devil in.
Facts.
I'm still here. You're gonna deal with this rage. And in all seriousness, the way they use Willem Dafoe and Norman Osborn versus Goblin is what I want to see from the Venom franchise. Because the Venom franchise that I've watched, I'm watching this comedian buddy cop series. That's not a villain. If I look at that, I don't see that Venom and say he's going to fight Spider-Man. Why would he fight Spider-Man? Never. Why is he going to fight Spider-Man? They minding their business in San Francisco. Spider-Man's in New York.
All he's going to do is go out there and start clubbing with Spider-Man. That's what he'll do. But
it's so weird.
Yeah.
So I hope in the next Venom movie, Venom the symbiote takes a turn and starts just being the evil deviant that the Green Goblin is, and starts to control Eddie.
I'm giving up on that Venom.
That's what it needs to be.
I'm ready for the Venom in the MCU.
My third pro is Tobey Maguire not giving a shit and not knowing what the Avengers were. Then
that was funny.
And flexing on them with his web. Like, you guys got web shooters? Watch this. Whoa, that's coming out of you? That man,
like you can't do that.
That stamped Toby as the GOAT for me. I don't need no web shooters. I don't need no Avengers. It's just me.
I'll be honest. Now, what I can say is what I did love that this movie did was, they looked back and said, okay, our Spider-Man trilogy wasn't the strongest. We're gonna redo it. We're gonna redo it. So spoiler at the end, Peter's decision to basically, he was trying to get everybody to forget he's Peter Parker. Forget that Spider-Man's Peter Parker. He ended up having to get everyone to forget that Peter Parker exists in order to, to stop,
Oh my God.
It was just so sad.
When Happy said, "How'd you know her?" Oh
man. It was just so sad, and the whole just the consequences of his decisions, trying to do the and he was trying to do good. That's another thing, it just sucks, just the MCU getting another chance at making another trilogy, and Peter right now is at the lowest he's ever been. This is way worse than Tony Stark's death. He lost Aunt May. He basically lost his girl. He lost his best friend. Everyone in the world doesn't know who he is. He just got to start fresh. But it's basically you're just born into the world, but as an adult who's broke, has his own apartment. So,
what's your number one bold prediction for Spider-Man 4? Spider-Man 4. It's coming in 2 years.
It's the Black Suit Venom. Black Suit Venom. Okay. It's happening. If they don't do it this time, I feel like it's a wasted opportunity. What other chance do you have to have him, how Andrew said, I got bitter. And like, who's to say that, who's to say this Peter Parker?
He's going to get there, and that symbiote's going to bring it out of him.
Exactly. He showed the rage that he just had when he almost killed Norman. So
that was beautiful. So, oh my God, I love that. First of all, shout out to Willem Dafoe. He is 66 years old, and he did all of his stunts.
Amazing.
The one scene, I know this was CGI, but he said, "Can the Spider-Man come out to play?" And he came out, and the little grenades flew out. He flew down. I was like,
Amazing. I just
I,
wish they focused on him as the villain.
love his voice, man.
Yeah, facts. And just his facial expression, everything.
Bold prediction: Spider-Man 4 is that we're going to start to see the love triangle between Peter, MJ, Gwen Stacy. We're going to see it.
I can see it.
We're going to see it.
You know what? You know, I personally think they're gonna bring Black Cat. I personally think they'll bring her.
That's possible.
Because if you could use this type of storyline, you know, when he uses the black suit and he's, you know, starting to.
I do like Black Cat because that's a person that they've never brought into it yet. And they were going to bring her into Andrew's third movie, but it got canceled.
Yeah, I saw. And then
I'll come back to my thoughts on the romance of Tom Holland's journey, though, for sure. All right, y'all, that's the end of part 1. All right, if y'all like what we did now, head over to the next video where we rank our best Spider-Man movies, and we got a bonus round at the end. See you there.